terminal buzzes with travelers pulling luggage, announcements echoing overhead, and the smell of coffee drifting from a nearby cafe. Jasmine Crockett walks confidently toward gate 37, dressed in a sharp navy pantsuit, heels clicking rhythmically against the polished floor. She checks her boarding pass one more time, first class, non-stop to D.C. As she approaches the gate, she notices a tense atmosphere among the staff. The gate agent, a young woman in a tight bun, glances at Jasmine's ticket and frowns. "Mom, this ticket doesn't appear to be valid." The agent says curtly, without even scanning it, "That can't be right." Jasmine replies calmly, "I booked it directly with the airline. Here's the confirmation email." She hands over her phone. The agent barely looks at it. "You'll need to step aside. I need to finish boarding our real passengers." Jasmine furrows her brow but stays composed. "I am a passenger, and I'm in first class." Another staff member steps in, an older man with a walkie-talkie clipped to his belt. Without asking questions, he takes the ticket from the agent, glances at it, and says, "You're not cleared. You'll have to leave the gate area." "Excuse me," Jasmine says, now beginning to feel both shocked and insulted. "There must be some mistake. I have the receipt ID," and the man cuts her off. "Ma'am, don't cause a scene. Please exit now or we'll call security." People around the gate start to look up from their phones, some whispering. A few begin filming on their devices. Jasmine feels her cheeks flush, not from guilt, but from the indignity. Before she can say another word, 2 airport security guards arrive. They don't ask questions either. They just escort her away as if she were a problem to be dealt with. Not a paying customer, Jasmine walks with her head held high, but inside she's boiling. As they leave the gate, one guard mutters, "You should have just gotten a real ticket." She doesn't reply. She just pulls out her phone and dials a number. Everything is about to change. The hot afternoon sun filters through the glass canopy outside the terminal. Jasmine sits stiffly on a metal bench near the passenger pickup area, her designer carry-on at her feet, her purse on her lap. The hum of idling taxis and the occasional rolling suitcase punctuate the background noise. Her hands are clenched around her phone, her nails tapping against the screen as she scrolls through her recent calls. Her breath is steady, but her eyes betray a storm brewing beneath her calm exterior. She presses a contact labeled "My King" and holds the phone to her ear. He picks up on the first ring. "Hey, babe," he says, his voice smooth and grounded. "Everything good?" There's a pause. "They kicked me out," Jasmine says, her voice steady but tight. "At the gate. Said my ticket wasn't valid. Security escorted me out like I was some kind of..." She cuts herself off, swallowing her pride. A beat of silence follows. "Which airline?" he asks, his tone suddenly sharper. "Atlantic Aero, gate 37. Terminal C," she replies, her voice quieter now, almost as if she's ashamed of how she was treated. There's no panic on his end, no raised voice. Just the chilling calm of someone who knows exactly what strings to pull. "I'll be there in 15, he says. Quick, Jasmine exhales slowly and lowers the phone. For the first time in the past half hour, the tension in her shoulders begins to release. She leans back against the bench, lifts her chin, and lets the sunlight warm her face. She knows what her husband is capable of, how his presence changes the tone of a room, how people suddenly remember their manners, their professionalism, their sense. A nearby driver, watching the tail end of the scene unfold, mutters to a colleague. She looks calm now, wonder what's coming. Jasmine glances at her reflection in the glass doors behind her, straightens her blazer, and allows the faintest smile to touch her lips. They messed with the wrong woman. And now her husband is on the way. 15 minutes later, a sleek black SUV glides to a stop in front of the Terminal C VIP entrance. The tinted windows reflect the bright afternoon sun, making it impossible to see inside. The engine purritely as the back door opens with smooth precision. Out steps a tall man in a tailored charcoal suit, his polished shoes clicking on the pavement with purpose. His name is Marcus Crockett, Jasmine's husband, former federal prosecutor, now a high-powered corporate attorney known for dismantling entire legal departments with a single letter. His demeanor is calm but commands instant attention, like a judge walking into a courtroom. The valet and a nearby airport manager spot him immediately, exchanging nervous glances. His face is familiar. He's the kind of man whose reputation precedes him, especially in elite legal and corporate circles. Marcus walks with the quiet confidence of someone used to being listened to the first time. He spots Jasmine seated near the curb. She stands as he approaches, and without a word, he wraps an arm gently around her shoulders, then turns to the nearest uniformed staff member. "Who's the supervisor for Atlantic Aero at this terminal?" Marcus asks, his tone direct and crisp. I believe that would be Ms. Hardwell." The employee stammers. "She's inside." "Go get her." Now, the employee doesn't hesitate. Within minutes, Ms. Hardwell, a senior airline supervisor, hustles outside, flanked by 2 other airline reps and an assistant manager. They stop short when they see Marcus. Recognizing him immediately, her face drains of color. "Mr. Crockett," she says quickly, adjusting her lanyard. I wasn't aware your wife was." "No, you weren't." Marcus cuts in, his voice low and firm. because your staff didn't bother to check facts before humiliating her in front of a crowd, dragging her out like a criminal over a perfectly valid first-class ticket. The assistant manager interjects, we deeply regret the incident. It was a misunderstanding. No, it was negligence. Marcus corrects, stepping forward just slightly. Racial bias, customer profiling, pick one. Or all of the above, but it ends today. Right here, Ms. Hardwell fumbles with her tablet, bringing up Jasmine's ticket information. Her ticket was processed correctly. It shows valid in the system now. There must have been a glitch. Then your glitch cost you more than a boarding pass? Marcus replies coldly. Expect to hear from our legal office. Silence. Ms. Hardwell's face twists in discomfort. Please allow us to make this right. A private lounge, immediate boarding, upgraded service, whatever we can offer. Marcus turns to Jasmine. You want to go back in? Jasmine lifts her chin, looks Ms. Hardwell square in the eye, and says, only if every passenger who saw what you did sees how you correct it. Ms. Hardwell nods quickly. Yes, of course. We'll arrange it. Right away, the staff scatter to make arrangements. The Vide Lounge exudes quiet luxury, plush leather armchairs, soft ambient lighting, and the faint aroma of fresh espresso. Frosted glass windows block the noise of the terminal, creating a serene oasis that contrasts sharply with the chaos of earlier events. A concierge hurries over with cold bottled water, fresh fruit, and warm towels. Jasmine sits with her legs crossed, still composed, still dignified, but there's a quiet satisfaction in her eyes now. Marcus stands beside her, scrolling through his phone, likely forwarding a brief summary of events to his legal assistant. They haven't said much to each other since entering the lounge, no need. The situation speaks for itself. A moment later, Ms. Hardwell returns, this time accompanied by a red-faced gate agent, the very one who had dismissed Jasmine earlier. Her posture is stiff and her eyes nervously avoid contact. Behind them, a senior executive from the airline's regional office appears, having arrived urgently from another terminal. Mrs. Crockett, the executive begins, on behalf of Atlantic Aero. I want to extend our sincerest apologies for the treatment you received. What happened today was unacceptable. Our staff failed to follow protocol and demonstrated poor judgment, and we take full responsibility. Jasmine raises an eyebrow but says nothing. The executive continues, we've upgraded you and Mr. Crockett to a private suite on the flight, along with a full refund, complimentary round-trip vouchers for any destination we serve, and a formal apology letter will be issued today. The gate agent steps forward awkwardly. I'm so sorry, Mom. I should have listened. I didn't check properly. It won't happen again. Jasmine studies her for a long second before replying. You didn't just fail to check, she says calmly. You assumed. You dismissed. You humiliated someone who met every requirement to be on that plane because you saw what you wanted to see, not what was in front of you. The agent nods slowly, her eyes downcast. Jasmine continues, I don't want your apology for me. I want you to think about the next woman who walks up to your counter who doesn't look like what you expect. A beat of silence follows, heavy with reflection. The executive clears his throat. We've taken immediate steps to retrain all personnel involved. We've also initiated a policy review to ensure something like this never happens again. Marcus, still silent until now, finally looks up. Good. Make sure your actions speak louder than your statements. We'll be following up. The staff nod, then retreat respectfully. Once they're gone, Jasmine leans back in the chair and lets out a slow exhale. She looks at Marcus. You didn't have to come in person. He smirks. They needed to see who they disrespected. They both share a quiet laugh, an unspoken bond stronger than any apology. Outside, a boarding announcement echoes through the lounge. Their new flight is ready. First to board. Of course, Jasmine stands, collects her things, and walks toward the gate, not with anger, but with grace, head high. This time, all eyes follow her with respect. Marcus and Jasmine remain still calm and collected, two people who never had to raise their voices to command the room.